What's up, guys, and welcome back to another podcast, the F1 Quizcast, but today it is more of just a podcast, a laid back, more of the cast than the quiz. There's going to be no questions, but a lot of, hopefully, answers answered. That's what answers are, isn't it? I guess. Really good start, but I've got a couple of guests with me today. Obviously, I've got Matt with me as usual, but we've also got Cal, or Cal HD, with me today. So, good to have you here, Cal.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. Matt, want to say anything before we start? Or
you almost nailed that intro, Joe.
I did.
You almost nailed it.
Nearly.
Just messed it up halfway through. But today, we haven't really planned this podcast. I think it's going to be more of a community/game discussion. So we could go off on a bit of a rant here, but we'll try to keep ourselves composed. But yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just thought I'd draft in Matt and Cal, a couple of people who are, I guess, sort of like similar stage of YouTube as me in terms of the F1 community, sort of like the real middle ground, I guess you could say. Obviously, hopefully we can all sort of like chip in with our opinions. So as Matt said, we're going to be discussing the game and the community. We haven't maybe got as much structure as we had before, but we'll just sort of see where it takes us. So. I don't really know where to start. If Matt, have you got anywhere really? Obviously, I think Matt is probably more prepared for this podcast than me.
Am I? Well, apparently I am.
Where should we start? Where should we start?
Originality and innovation.
Yeah, actually, that's quite a good place to start.
Maximise with the game.
That's quite a good place to start because obviously, I made a video on it. It was in the summer sometime, and then obviously Cal.
I remember that. I responded.
You did the response video.
Cal, I must have watched that video about 5 or 6 times. You absolutely nailed it.
Ironically, though, a lot of my opinions have changed from that video.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
In terms of the community and how big it is and the growth of it. I think I'd definitely say that. I'd probably have to watch it back again because I can't remember everything I said during it. But I bet a few of my opinions have probably changed over the past months.
Right, okay, that's interesting, because obviously, like I say, we did those videos, and it was sort of at a time where, I'll have to take a look at exactly where it was, but I believe it was just after, like, the release of F1 2016, it was 12th of September, so I believe that was about a month and a half after F1 2016 got released.
Probably less than a month, actually.
And but it was sort of like, I guess... I think you two would probably agree. It was sort of the time where, like, everything was sort of it was really dying off, even like that early phase, and everyone was sort of a bit confused as to, like, I guess the direction that the F1 community was going in, and I guess like the just complete oversaturation of content. That was like the thing that we all sort of concluded on. Yeah. But I'd be interested, Carl, actually, to hear like now sort of maybe what opinions have changed.
Well, there's no denying the oversaturation because literally everyone's plan of action when a new game comes out is spend as much time as you can recording, editing, uploading. You're literally just on that cycle non-stop. You're trying to get as many videos out. You want to cram as many. Some people, such as the big YouTubers such as Ben and Arav, get 2 or 3 out in a day. Some of us we're a little bit more busy. We at least try and get 1 out per day for the next 2 weeks. So obviously maybe get through the first season and kind of get your foot in the door, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely oversaturated when the first game comes out. But I think that's just kind of like a YouTube thing. It's not a Formula 1 problem. It's just a YouTube gaming, let's playing kind of thing, where everyone just wants to get their foot in the door and just go absolutely ham sandwiches with videos.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. Like when FIFA comes out, that sort of thing. Everyone's like putting as many FIFA points on as possible, opening as many packs, see who can be the first person to pack Ronaldo, that sort of thing. And it's just like, I think we can sort of relate that to F1 in the sense of, who's going to be the first to finish this career mode. Because that's just, the go-to thing, like, do a career mode, whatever. Like, that's sort of what people, I guess, want to see. Or that's what people think, but obviously a lot of people want to see is, like, get through the career mode. But then, like, as soon as you sort of like start to get 2 or 3, 4 episodes behind and like gradually get more, like people don't really care, I guess, for that sort of thing. And then like for me, we've got to this stage, what are we? We're March now. And like I'm still doing I'm still doing the Dream Team series, which I did like right at the start of the game, and now there is like basically no interest in that sort of thing. So Matt, do you like, I guess what are your views on the sort of decline in interest, I guess, or do you think it is literally just the fact that like 2 weeks after the games comes out, then literally everything has already been used up? Would you say it's that?
Well, my opinion on the whole thing is that, especially at the start of the game, everyone tends to just cram in as many episodes as possible. There's no real editing effort going into it at the start.
Yeah.
But my opinion on the whole like uniqueness and originality with career mode, with like race graphics, replays, cinematics, I genuinely feel that's been maximised, and I feel that's going to become a huge problem, especially when it comes to the next game in terms of like getting noticed. But I feel definitely what Arav's done with his My Driver, which is absolutely incredible. He's mixed up pretty much everything. I feel that he has certainly maximised all that you can do with career mode. And I think for anyone else, or even Arav himself, I highly doubt you can get any better than that. And I feel that with F1 career mode, I know I'm going to touch on FIFA here, and I'm not going to compare it too much, but I watched a podcast recently. It was the True Geordie podcast with Cal Freezy, and before you say anything, I know that FIFA's so much bigger, and Cal Freezy is like one of the top 50 biggest YouTubers in the UK. But basically what he said about FIFA is that there's only so many pack openings and squad builders you can upload. And I feel with F1, it's almost getting to that stage where there's only so many career mode videos you can make, and perhaps people have to try something a little bit different, because obviously career mode is a bit repetitive, and certainly even if you edit to a really good standard and it takes you like 3 days to like edit a video with all the cinematics, graphics, everything like that, I feel it's getting into a point now where it's been maximised, and no matter how much effort you put in, you're not necessarily going to get noticed, and the rewards might not come back. And it's a real difficult situation at the moment with the F1 community, certainly, but we'll have to wait and see, because I feel F1 2017 could be make or break.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like it's interesting what you say about the whole like editing for. Obviously, like Arav has like completely stepped it up with his My Drive. Like every season, he's sort of like, I guess, added that extra thing. But I guess with his series, I never sort of feel like anything's been, I guess, overdone in a sense.
Feels right.
Exactly.
When you
it feels
right.
sort of natural. Yeah, natural. And I think that's, I guess, the problem, and that's sort of going to tie into the thing that I'm going to ask you, Carl. Like, I remember that the video that you put on, it was sort of, you said that it's not necessarily all about having new ideas. It's about doing it right, in a sense. Yeah. It's sort of like not cramming everything into a video, like doing a completely unique idea that has been really edited to like a top standard, because I think if you overdo it, then people don't want to see that sort of thing. If you get me.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So
it's a very touchy one, because I definitely still stand by that. It's the thing is with unique and brand new ideas and everything, and you can make your own little world, you can make your own little challenge. But I think the biggest thing, especially with career mode, is people like to relate. People like to almost compare. And I think not so much Formula 1 games, but definitely the bigger games, such as like FIFA, is people like to try and beat maybe what you've done. So obviously lap times is the biggest thing on Formula 1. And then the next thing is just career modes and like how many times you can win the championship. But if someone comes in with this new quirky idea where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go 3 laps. I don't know, what's the best one I can choose? I think maybe you're right, Kev, that like an ultimate team style side of Formula, like do that kind of idea behind it. People can't really relate to that, because it's your own little game mode, if you will. You can't really relate to it, and some people love it. I honestly, some people did like criticize me and go, "Oh yeah, well I like that," and yeah, fine, enjoy it. But for me, and I think in terms of the biggest perspective of just the whole community, people just can't really relate. So it's just like, oh yeah, it's a good idea and everything, but it's just missing that connection that you can have with an audience.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I think that is like, in that sense, I think people may still sort of watch it, especially like towards the start, and like think, yeah, this is a really good idea, like you say. But in terms of like actual interaction on a video, like I don't know about you, but like my most interactive videos are like the challenges, which people can think, you know, I've never done this before. I'm going to go out. It'll only take me 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm just going to jump onto F1 and try this challenge, and then I can, you know, I'm going to watch this video and I can comment and say, oh, you know, this is what I did, that sort of thing. Whereas I get what you mean in the sense that like people can watch, for example, my Dream Team series and think, oh yeah, you know, it's a really cool idea. I like what he's doing, but you know, I'm just going to go and get on with the rest of my day now. You know, I don't feel sort of inspired to go and do it myself.
Yeah, I think one series you can relate it to, I was just thinking of one, is Spencer FC, Wheel of Fortune.
Yes, Wheel of Fortune.
That's kind of a good example, which, really entertaining series, and I've watched a couple of series before in the older games, but now I've just like, I've got bored of it. Stale. I'm just like, I can't relate. It's a cool, fun, quirky idea, but I don't know, it just lacks something.
So, where do you think the future lies then in terms of F1? So, like 2017, 2018, and beyond. Matt, where would you say that sort of? I guess not necessarily the views, but I guess where would you say the direction of videos is going in that sense?
Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. I mean, as I've mentioned before, it's definitely getting to the point now where there's only so many career mode videos you can make before it gets too repetitive.
Yeah.
I've always believed this, that I think the audience is, well, I think the audience is too. Hang on, what am I meant to say? I think there's too many YouTubers for the audience size. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So there's not enough people to spread across all of the F1 YouTubers. And the thing is, I mean, I made a couple of videos at the start of release, basically saying that my career mode wasn't getting too many views and I was thinking about doing something else. A lot of people are saying on that they only watch about 2 or 3 career modes because they just can't keep up with all of them.
I got that as well.
And I think in terms of the future, it's just such a questionable talking point, and that's why we're making this podcast, because what I was going to ask you guys at the end, although I suppose we've come to it already, is where do you see the F1 community being in 2 or 3 years' time? I mean, anyone watching this video, leave a comment down below, because I want to hear it, because I've got absolutely no idea who will still be around, whether we'll still be around, what sort of videos are being made. Maybe people will go off career mode and might try something new. But the one sort of series that hasn't been done yet, and I know, Cal, you touched on this quite a bit in the video you made about the whole community situation, was a third-party influence. And the thing is, no one has found that yet. Absolutely no one. At the moment, I feel with F1, there is no way. I think it's impossible at the moment to find something like that, because in FIFA, you have the football challenges, which a lot of YouTubers do, to link it in. But with F1, there's nothing you can really do.
You can't just
get out in your car.
You can't just go out and drive an F1 car, can you? As cool, as awesome as that would be, but no, honestly, I have absolutely no idea, because it could literally go either way. I think it will continue. The audience can only really get bigger, but it depends how many YouTubers will grow. I think Ben and Arav will continue to thrive, but I don't know. I don't know really who else will grow. Who else will grow with them?
You know,
it's
honestly,
a really questionable point.
Like, thinking about it, like on a very honest basis, in the direction that the game is going, in 2 or 3 years' time, you could honestly say that every video will still be game mode based. I honestly don't think
I do as well.
anyone will crack the third party influence. Just cause you can maybe say, Arav's done a lot of third-party stuff, but it's still career mode. Yeah. It's still what Formula 1 is. It's going on a calendar. Obviously, he's completely changed up the calendar. He's going in a car, completely changed up the cars, completely changed up the drivers. But it's still career mode. Yeah. So it's like added on top of this. And again, what we've spoke about, adding the editing in and all this, making it look nice, spending 3 days on it. But obviously, at the start of the game,
it's still the same thing.
You want to churn out as many videos as possible, so you put your foot in the door, but then all of a sudden you retract it because you want to start making good videos again.
Yeah.
And you've got that imbalance of, well, okay, where's the videos then? And I've had this problem where I churned out, 14 videos in 2 weeks, one a day, and then I went off the face of the planet because I was trying to make good videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the whole career mode thing. I know Arav's had a problem with it, and at least in the last couple of years, where he's like literally done a career mode season in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then he gains all these new subscribers, and then all of a sudden he says, right, this career mode's finished. I'm gonna do my ultra mod or my driver, which it is now, which is going to, he says, right, I'm going to do it once a week or twice a week or whatever, rather than every day. Don't expect a video every day. And then all of a sudden you get people commenting saying we want just the standard career mode. We don't care for this. And it's a difficult balance to find, because I think you have really got those sort of two distinct audiences. You have the one audience, which I guess you could say is the predominant audience. I guess you could say the hardcore fan base, which want these really well edited videos that, yes, they understand they'll come less frequently, but they can put up with that. And then you have the more casual fan base who are sort of, like I say, you have that hardcore fan base, and then you have the, I guess, outsiders who sort of dip in and out of F1. They'll buy the F1 game and they'll maybe play it for a couple of months and whatever, and watch it on YouTube for a couple of months. And they're the ones who sort of just want these, I guess, career mode videos like every day, not necessarily the editing on it. And it's such a hard balance to find, because I think in order to expand your audience, you have to, like you say, you get your foot in the door by churning out these videos. But yeah, like, it's just such a difficult balance to find. And back to your question, Matt, where you said, like, where do I see the community in 2-3 years' time? To be honest, yeah, once again, I can't see it really going away from career mode. Because that's where the demand is. Unless
Where do you think
Codemasters,
you will be? That's the bigger question.
That, yeah. To be honest,
that's the killer question there.
Yeah, like myself in 2-3 years' time, to be honest, I can't really see myself maybe playing the game too much. I mean, I haven't properly played a Formula 1 game since F1 2014.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just gonna sorry to interrupt, Joe. That was a bit rude, but
you've done it now. Go ahead.
Pretty much with F1 2016 now, I don't play it for fun at all. No. I literally just go on it to record YouTube videos, and that's it. Yeah. Like, unfortunately, over the past years, I've transitioned more into a YouTuber than a gamer.
Yeah.
So F1, I go on, record. Don't play it for fun anymore. I just don't find it enjoyable whatsoever, and I'd much rather be doing other things in my spare time. And I think just in general, I don't have as much time to play F1 games. And I suppose you guys could agree with me as well, back 100%. Me up here. But
yeah.
Really, we don't play F1 games for fun anymore. It's all about just recording videos for YouTube. And if we didn't record videos for YouTube, using F1, we wouldn't play it. Simple as that.
Oh no, I definitely agree with that.
Well, I think the last game for me was 2014. I'd probably say.
Yeah.
And that was sort of league racing, and league racing was proper stale for me at that point. But 2015 was the first game where I was like, right, I'm going to properly go at this, and it did pay off. Don't get me wrong. I did when I put myself into the YouTuber mentality. It paid off. The problem is now is because I already had that prior bit where I played all the F1 games up to 2015 as a gamer. I don't play the games as a gamer anymore. I don't play games full stop. I honestly just don't have the time to play games. Like, the only game I'd play was I'd just sit down and play FIFA because it's just a casual game. You can't just whip out your wheel and go, yeah, let's do some casual racing. It's a bit more, it just doesn't really fit.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the same with me. Like, I obviously now I'm at uni, I've been for a few months, and I like doing an engineering degree. I have like hardly any real spare time, and the spare time I do have, obviously, like, I end up just like chilling with my flatmates, playing a bit of FIFA, that sort of thing. It's either like if I sometimes like I have an evening free this evening and whatever, so I've decided I'll record this podcast. But like most of the time, it'll be I could either record a video or whatever, or I could play a bit of FIFA. So I think, right, I'll jump on FIFA, play a couple of games, and then I usually end up getting angry and playing about 10 games. But like I don't sort of have the motivation as much anymore to think, right, you know what, I can't wait to get in from lectures today and play some F1. And that's when I was at school, when I was in like year 11, year 10, year 11, even year 12 really. I thought, right, I'm going to get in tonight, can't wait to get on, play F1, and then maybe even record some stuff. Whereas now it's sort of like, obviously, like, I really enjoy the video aspect of it, which is why I'm obviously still doing it now. But like, if I was just playing it for fun, it's just like the F1 games have reached that stage where it is literally just for a video purpose. And I think obviously you two agree about that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely just for a video.
So I guess we've covered a few things there without really going into too many
sort of
different
structure.
questions. Yeah, so
Yeah.
The next one I'm going to throw out there is to do with league racing. Cal, you touched on it then, saying that it sort of went stale maybe about 2014 for you. What I'll ask you first then, Cal. What do you think happened to league racing? Because obviously, like F1 2013, I'd say was sort of like the big, like that was for me when league racing was like that looked as if it was where the F1 games were going. Obviously, Codemasters did their championship in the summer of 2014, which was when F1 2013 was out. But why do you think it's gone sort of so stale and off since then?
For me, it was two things, because on 2014, I had done literally leagues every single game. Like 2012, the start midway through F1 2012, started off with the Afro League. Then it was just like, let's do former PlayStation. Then let's do AOR. Let's do a couple of seasons of AOR. Then let's go onto the PC and do more leagues there. Try and make my own league. That failed. And then I got to like Nebula finally. And I like, right, okay, I'm not doing a Codemasters League Racing anymore. And I jumped onto R Factor. Yeah. But then I had the same problem. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again, which obviously you kind of get that for any game, and you could argue that for you could literally just argue that for any game. But I think the thing is, it's commitment, especially more recently for me, because I tried to do. I did miss it actually. I think because I'd done it that many years, I actually missed it. And this was 2015 was the only game that I haven't done a league on, like full stop.
Wow.
And so I jumped back onto league racing this year, got put in Split 2, and I was like, yeah, it's good and everything. I got to like round 7, and I was like, I do not have the time for this at all. Like I was literally just struggling, and then more recently, I missed 3 races in a row, and I was just like, guys, I'm going to have to pull out here, because I'm literally just busy. Like, I think I was on the bus home, and it hit 8 o'clock, and I was like, shit, I missed it. I've missed another race. So I just decided, because there's no point in being... I feel like it's a bit selfish taking a spot if someone else can take it. Although there's only a couple of rounds left of the season, but I think overall it's just commitment, especially for the older people. I think when you're younger, you've got a lot more time. So much time. But the moment it's just social life kicks off, and you just you feel a bit not sad, but like it's just like I just can't be bothered with this anymore.
Yeah, you could be doing other things. Yeah. I think that's just like it's just sort of like part of maturing, really, as a person. Like you say, like a few years ago, I would have thought, I'd say like when I was back in school, really, like before sixth form, that sort of time, you come home, you do a bit of gaming and whatever, and then obviously you go up to sixth form, your workload increases, you still want to see your mates, and then you get to sort of age where you can drive and like go elsewhere, rather than just like sit at home playing games, that sort of thing. This has got really deep, hasn't it? It's like, but no, it's the like main
reasons, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess you don't game for fun necessarily. And like a lot of my time before, like when I was just sort of gaming, was like I was on the F1 games, and I was just like thinking of these like new ideas. I was like, oh yeah, last man standing, that would be a really, really good idea to come up with. And like Ultimate Career, that sort of thing, just like me playing through the F1 games. That's how that sort of thing came about. But league racing, like you say, I think I don't really know what's I know you haven't done a lot of league racing recently, but I guess from the outside looking in at league racing, why do you think it hasn't maybe taken off as people expected it to a couple of years ago?
I actually joined the F1 community by doing league racing.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory here. Back end of 2012, sort of December 2012, I started watching a guy called Athlete VG. I watched his live streams at the time. They did F1 2012 online, and I met a few people through those live streams, and I joined a league called the Mammal League, which was run by Just Chipmunk, I think he's called now. He hasn't uploaded in a while. And then basically I joined more leagues from there, Formula Xbox. I raced throughout F1 2012 and F1 2013. And then towards the end of F1 2013, there were just so many issues of lag, connection, phantom cars. That's the main reason I lost interest, because of the glitches. And I think that's the reason why it didn't kick off, because I think people got fed up. In fact, Formula Xbox, the league I was part of, I think they stopped halfway through 2014, didn't even bother with 2015, because the online was just that bad, and people just couldn't be bothered really with the online being that bad, and with the lack of spare time that people have as they grow up, it was just pointless really to try and make the league happen for that season. But I think all in all, as I've mentioned, I think the only reason it hasn't kicked off is just because the online was that bad.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing. And obviously, as you meant, you guys have pretty much nailed the points anyway about us all growing up, maturing, things like that. Just having other priorities and just things that we'd rather do. Another reason why I obviously gave up league racing was to become more of a YouTuber, focus on YouTube, and it did pay off. It has paid off so far, even though recently it has been slightly tough, but getting back on track slowly, which is positive to see. But yeah, overall league racing, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how the online is for F1 2017, because obviously it's still not perfect at the moment on 2016, even though more leagues are running. Just obviously we don't actually know. We're gonna have to see how F1 2017 online is.
Yeah, I guess that's why that's the annoying thing though. Like, we've been saying that for sort of like last, I guess, 4 years probably now. I mean, how many game ideas videos you see now? You see next to none, because they're just the same ideas over and over again. It's just like improve online, make sure league racing can happen, that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess that sort of caps that point off. The next point I wanted to go on to was more of, I guess, a YouTube sort of thing. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but like just sort of, I guess, YouTube itself, because we're at the point now, I sort of touched on it earlier, obviously we're in March now, and you don't have to be a genius to work out that F1 is just like completely declining in content. I mean, it was like, October, that sort of time, and if I look down my sub box now, I can count on one hand. I often don't even need one hand to count the number of F1 videos that are in my sub box every day. Obviously, Cal, you haven't uploaded for a while. Up until this week, which if this podcast comes out tomorrow, I'll be on a run of 3 days in a row.
Wow,
which
well
would
done.
be unbelievable. But obviously, take that aside. I've been a lot more consistent this year, but I mean, it's still like, 1 video a week, 2 videos a week. So, Carl, I guess I'll go to you first. What do you think's for you has like led to the decline, that sort of thing, and do you think it's, I guess, something which we can expect in every F1 game, this sort of decline?
I think in terms of the game decline, it's every year. I think it's the same for when it's a yearly franchise. It comes out every, obviously FIFA, it's a certain month. Obviously Formula 1 dodges around the end of summer, start of autumn. It's just kind of a casual thing, because I think it also coincides with the winter. Yeah. There's no F1 season, so that kind of kills it off. I suppose the hype's starting to kind of build up now, but that really doesn't revive the game, personally for me. But we are kind of stuck in the same loop, and I've always used the excuse, because people questioned me getting hyped for 2016 last year, people saying, oh, it's just going to be the same as last year. And yeah, obviously there's not going to be, I always use the excuse, well, what are you going to expect? You want missiles to come out the car or something. But obviously, as YouTubers, it's just an opportunity to make more videos. It's just a clean slate, it's something new. But honestly, as I sit here in March, and I'm just like, yeah, F1 2017 can come out, but I don't think, I'll buy it maybe, but I don't think I'm even going to make any YouTube videos on it at the moment.
Oh, really? Hello.
Wow.
Well, this is
what do you think? What do you think's led to that, though?
Well, apart from the maturity side, because we've already touched on that, honestly, I've played F1 games since the F1 2009 game, and obviously it's quite easy to know my age. Take 2000 off it. I started when I was 9 years old. And I've always stood behind. It's quite deep here again. I've kind of stood behind this kind of, I don't know what the word is, kind of like wall or kind of safe bubble, because a lot of people said that, because you're so young, you're going to be in a really good position when you're older.
Yeah.
But that also backfired, because I got big, or in a sense, you know what I mean, like big. Yeah. I got to our level. I think that's the best way to say. I got to the level where I was the most immature, really bad with organisation, really bad with motivation, and now it's got to the point where I don't even like playing the F1 games anymore, because I've literally played them for, if you count 2009, for 8 years. Mm-hmm. That's a long time to play a certain game and not get bored of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I guess it's a good point, that I think even though that you were obviously younger when you sort of started, like you obviously started, I guess 2012. You pretty much started like consistently uploading like the same time as, I say consistent in my front. You sort of started consistently uploading the same time as me, really. And I think it's the same for anyone. Like no matter how old you are, like as soon as you reach that certain stage, like you're going to be the same no matter what age. Like you just, I guess not struggle for. Well, yeah, I guess
it's
struggle for motivation.
Yeah,
to yeah, it is
definitely motivation.
Which is sort of like that's what hit me at one point last year. And yeah, like I've revived it. I've revived it now, like this year, 2017. But that's just literally as a result of enjoying like making videos rather than enjoying playing the game. But no, it's obviously really interesting to hear on your side that you don't necessarily have that
it's not the first time
anymore.
that quitting YouTube. It's not. I'm not going to lie. That quitting YouTube's gone from my head a couple of times already.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that's restricting me is my aspiration of being a film producer. That's the route I want to go down with university.
Right.
People say that I've got kind of this portfolio on YouTube, which is obviously still sitting there and everything. But
yeah,
if anything, I wouldn't want to quit YouTube. It's just Formula One. I'd want to quit, or take a different route down Formula One, not the game. Because it's just, I think that's the limiting factor for all of us. I honestly think we hit that ceiling where it's like, it's just a game. It's just a game, and you don't want to be 22 and still be playing games, do you? Like, I know some people do, but like playing games, I don't know. If you're playing a game for that long, you're not bored of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like by then we would have been doing it for what, like 10 years, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a long time to just literally do, especially like such a recycled game like F1 where there's only like a limited amount of things.
Oh yeah, if it was like brand new games every year, then that's fine.
Yeah. But no, it's obviously in the last week or so, Matt, not you Matt, XMyG Matt, has announced that he's going down this WTF1, starting this new channel. Do you think we're going to see more of this sort of thing, or do you think this is literally very much a one-off thing? Matt, what would you say on that front?
It's tough to say, but that WTF1 opportunity for XMyG, honestly, for me, that would be the dream. That would be awesome to sort of do YouTube as like an actual, full-time job almost. That would be brilliant. But do I see more of those sort of channels starting? I suppose you could kind of compare them to sort of the football
like
fan
the
TV
90,
you have,
that sort of thing.
Yeah,
when
by the way, I'm not talking about Arsenal fan TV, nothing like that. Don't worry. But no, for me, I feel that none of us really enjoy even watching F1 2016 content anymore. Certainly myself, at the past 18 months to 2 years, I've literally hardly watched any career mode. Like even at the beginning of release this year, I watched close to no content at all.
No, neither did I.
I literally made my own videos, uploaded them, and that was it, to be quite honest. But sort of going back to the question, will we see more channels like that sort of branching out, doing a little bit more real life stuff, adding some personality to their videos? I don't know. I feel it's a bit of a freak example because I don't think the F1's quite
at
big
that
enough
level
yet. Yeah, at that level of like, obviously it's a hell of a lot smaller than football, so we can't see. I don't think we'll see many of those channels coming about in the next few years, but possibly after that, maybe we'll see where YouTube is on that front with F1. But XMyG's done brilliantly there, and obviously it must be difficult for him to decide to leave his YouTube channel.
It's
but
quite
I
big,
would have.
Because sorry for interrupting, but if you think about
That's
it,
all right.
okay, you've got Arav and Ben, almost 200,000, 110,000, I think. Okay, they're the two staple big guys. Matt was the net. Oh, Matt's above.
Yeah, but this is what I was literally thinking about earlier.
Yeah. Matt's was the third in line.
I think it's Scott, isn't it? I swear it's Into the Barrier that was third.
I don't know who's.
It's Into the Barrier.
But the thing is,
and
Into the Barrier doesn't really upload.
Yeah.
You've got Alex Afro in there. I'm not going to really. I'm not going to say much. But then after that, who do you really have?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Because if anything, because you've got Limitless who does league racing. I kind of feel like league racing is good up to the point where there isn't a season and you're like, what content do I need now? And then you think it's just us, And I'm not being funny or anything, but we're
not going to get
we're nowhere.
we're just sat here like, is there any point? And I don't know whether you wanted this as a question, but the community, I think, when I made that video back in September, I said the community was the strongest it's ever been.
No.
I think it's the weakest it's ever been now.
I think it is.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
It's
I mean,
so far apart.
Yeah.
At the moment, basically what I was going to conclude at the end was that all I see happening was Arava and Marduk just growing.
Yeah.
And the rest of us almost being left behind. Not being salty or anything, of course, but that just seems to be the way it's going. Because obviously you have a few YouTubers sort of just below those guys, like Into the Barrier, Alex Afro, but the thing is, those guys, I mean, Into the Barrier certainly is not that consistent. You've got Alex Gillen in there somewhere, obviously TRL Limitless with League Racing, but as you mentioned, Cal, that sort of area seems to be declining, and if online's not going to improve anytime soon, it's not going to get any stronger either.
Yeah, I think.
So, and that just leaves us. I think I don't know who's the biggest. Cal, it might actually be you that's the biggest out of all of us here.
Cal overtook me a while ago.
7 point. I don't even look at my. Hold on, let me check. I, mean, I don't even know.
I don't know what I am.
I think one's 7 point somewhere.
You're 7.6.
7.6. Yeah.
I am 6.
If I'm honest, though, at the minute, the only subscribers I gain from is just from the podcast. Like, and I'm not going to deny my leverage is from Arav. But like Matt, literally, you just said there, it's not being salty. It's literally not being salty because you can't be salty about having no motivation.
No, exactly. No, like I went on about this. I think it was in that video actually about the oversaturation sort of thing, where I sort of made the point. I guess that's where yours sort of disagreed with mine, where I said I feel like the community's sort of getting split quite far apart. And I think I made the point that those sort of guys, the ones who like have the time to, put all these hours into it. Obviously, like the way that YouTube works, they're the ones that are going to grow. And fair play to people who can like not churn out. I think that sort of phrase like implies that they literally
bad
just like
content.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like to use that word, but I guess sort of like
it is. Yeah, it is a word.
Produce that sort of like quality.
When a game first comes out, it is basically churning.
It is churning it out, but like I guess. Like when you get to this sort of cycle, when you're at this point in the game cycle, it's only really those bigger guys that are really like consistently putting out that sort of content. Because obviously us, like we're the sort of ones who just sort of we're still going to an extent, but like obviously we have other priorities. Cal, you have A levels coming up, AS levels or whatever, and Matt, me and you last year, we had A levels. I'm at uni this year. I've got exams. You've got a job. That sort of thing. It all sort of, and unless you're like really big and you've got that sort of audience behind you, I think it is difficult to keep going like consistently at this point. And we're just in that ground where, yes, obviously people care for our content, but they fully understand that, like the reason why they're still there is because they understand that we have lives outside of this, and that I guess take more priority. I think
the only anomalous person I can think of is Tom, who I think he's sitting at around about 5.6 thousand, somewhere around that point.
I'm learning a lot about people's sub count tonight.
Yeah, and honestly,
6,200 he's on now.
Is he? He's grown a little bit recently.
Wow.
And honestly, like from his, like I speak to him pretty much like weekly, and he is probably got the most amount of motivation out of all of us between in this bracket, this imaginary bracket that we're all in. He's definitely got the most amount of motivation. Because that's just who he is. I think it's definitely down to who you are as a person. Tom's very organised with his time. I think that then that also shows with Arav as well, because Arav very organised. He's done an entire uni course and finishing
exactly.
He's
doing the same uni course as me.
110,000.
He's like two years ahead of me, and I can't even keep up with it at the moment.
And that's where it contrasts, because me, if I sit in a call, them two can be buzzing off their tits motivated. I'm just sitting like, I can't be arsed. I just can't be bothered. And it's mindset and motivation and everything, but it's at the end of the day, it's just something missing, I think. And it's that creative flow that everyone's felt at some point.
Yeah.
But it's very dry. It's a bit of a desert in that region now.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that sort of covers the more YouTube side of things. I don't know whether there's, like you said, Cal, you're, I guess, more in with like Tom, Arav, that sort of side of things. Would you say there's any? I know you've sort of touched on it there, but would you say there's any more, I guess, light you could shed from maybe their perspective? Like me and Matt, obviously, like, because we've talked quite a bit about this sort of thing from our point of view. Would you say there's anything from their side of things that they think about the whole YouTube thing that are, I guess, different?
In terms of from Ara's point of view, I think he's very content with himself. He's getting opportunities left, right, and centre now, and I think he knows that he can stand fully on his 2 feet with this job as a full-time job once he's finished his course, and he's fine. I think I think once Arav has got all the spare time, I think we'll see kind of like what Ben's doing, where I think he'll still be still making the same amount of content. But it will just be more relaxed. I think he'll allow himself to have a bit more free time. I think he felt like he restricted himself maybe
under pressure,
quite a lot under uni. I think in terms of Tom, it's just he's Tom. I joke with Tom about this because he is the master of having problems. He always has a problem. Something always comes up, and like either something breaks or his wheel's broken or it's something. Honestly, I feel so sorry for him sometimes because something always breaks for him. But I think in terms of us, like we have more conversations about the podcast and where we'd like to take that over our own. I probably have more conversations about the podcast than my channel.
Yeah,
because I've literally said straight up to them, I'm just like, I honestly think I don't think I can do this anymore. I just don't think I can carry on making just the same content all the time. And I know I've got the capacity in myself to do that. And I think I stretched my legs a little bit with the first and second episodes of my new career mode, or the season 2, where I tried to spruce it up a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know really where else to go with it, to be honest, because again, it's just missing, and it's everyone's got a different perspective on it, but it's not that different. I think we can all kind of analyse what's kind of cracking off and just going, it is a little bit dead, but people are on different platforms.
Yeah. Now, I guess that's sort of testament to you in the sense that I guess you've seen a project like the Pit Lane podcast, and you can sort of see the potential in that, and you've sort of been, I guess, big enough to sort of say, you know what, like this has got the potential to be quite big, and I'd rather invest my time to help with something like that.
Yeah, like, I do like a lot of the research. We all do the research, but I like to think that help out in that sense. Also, I helped out with graphics because we obviously spruced it up for season 2, and we've already been planning ahead. We're still planning ahead right now in terms of hosts, in terms of where we'd like to host the actual podcast as well. Yeah, and it can be a decent little thing, which is just us sitting down and talking about Formula 1. And people can hate it, people can like it, we don't really care because it's on that decent basis. But I think in terms of like YouTube and Formula 1, I think it wasn't brand new because obviously people do podcasts. I think Dre is probably the one that comes to mind with his Motorsport 101, I think it is. Yeah, he's the one that comes to mind. But on YouTube, there was kind of that little hole.
Yeah, and I guess Arav sort of had that platform.
Yeah, he gave us that leverage, and we kind of put our finger in it and went, let's test the water. And obviously it paid off.
It ended up paying off, yeah.
But obviously, like little podcasts like this, like, I love I don't know if people are watching now, but I love watching these. And it's the same with True Geordie. The Matt, when you said about the True Geordie podcast, KSI was on it.
I love those.
Honestly, absolutely love the KSI one or the Spencer one as well, because you get a proper insight into people. You almost realise people are so fake. When it comes to YouTube videos, you don't get an insight into what they actually like, and I think
I'm so much.
I value that so much more.
Yeah, like I just love the True Geordie podcast just because, like, I mean, if I go on his channel now, I literally, you know, the little YouTube bar thing, the red bar, it's literally up to the end on every single one of his podcasts. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, especially when he gets the guests on, you just sort of. You get to see the real side of people, and I don't know whether it's just us as YouTubers that sort of, I guess, appreciate that sort of thing. But like, I know a lot of people that aren't YouTubers that do like it, which is, I guess, what sort of, I think it was the success of that sort of inspired me to to at least like try it with F1 sort of thing, because obviously like you, Cal, you, Tom, and Arav have got the your podcast, the Pit Lane podcast, and I guess that's more sort of like F1 discussion. And yes, like we've done a lot of F1 discussion on here already, but it's I thought there was sort of maybe room for maybe just a bit more of a relaxed one, and people seem to have liked it so far. So yeah, maybe that's where would you say that that's maybe where the future lies? This sort of more relaxed content, that sort of thing.
Is that
Matt?
Open question?
Either of you can go for it.
Again, it's difficult to say. Obviously, as Cal said, that opportunity was open. No one had really done a podcast like that with all the F1 discussion. We've kind of, I suppose, you've taken inspiration from the True Geordie.
Spit it out, mate.
Yeah, but no, I was literally just thinking as you were talking just then, we could get literally just more people on. We could get like Arav and Tim at Marduk. We could get on everyone, just get their thoughts on like, the whole situation.
No, I would like to, yeah.
That would be good, but certainly I do feel with career mode, I feel all the editing, everything like that, I just feel it's been maximised, and it will just get repetitive amongst everyone, and I think viewers, over time, I think we'll lose interest, even though the audience is growing amongst, you'd say, the top two, Arav and Tim at Marduk. For us guys, uploading career mode to that, good of a standard, I just don't think it's necessarily going to get the support, and the motivation for us won't be too high. So I think branching out to something like this is another option, another opportunity, and who knows where it will take us.
I've just found the list. I was pretty sure I had this saved. I've got my iPad in front of me. And this is from the 1st of July 2015, and I remember it was F1 Maestro posted it on Twitter.
I know what you're about to say.
It's the subscriber count of everybody. The subscriber count of the top 25 F1 YouTubers, and I just wanted to. I had in my head that I still had it.
Come on. I'm in there.
And I've got it in front of me now, and I just wanted to sort of take a look at because basically what I was going to do, I was going to ask you, like maybe in 2-3 years' time, where do you see, do you see a lot of new people in the community? Do you sort of see the same sort of faces? Because I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, we were like, yeah, we'll probably be some of the big guys back then. Will probably still be up there, but there'll probably be newer people who will come through, because that was sort of the trend back then. And basically, back then, TM Marduk was number 1. Is still number 1. Into the Barrier was number 2. He's now number 3.
Oh. Arav
was 3, only on 35,000 subscribers. He's now on like over 120,000. But again, he's still like only actually gone up 1 position. Then you've got Alex Zaffro, who has again pretty much stayed where he was. Fizzy pretty much stayed where he was. Matty was 7th, and obviously the project.
How big was Fizzy back then?
Fizzy had 13,900.
Well, I think he's on about 20,000 now.
Yeah.
But he does a lot of league racing. I know he's sort of branched out to iRacing, but I don't know. I still do feel that league racing genre is beginning to decline.
It's a shame because
it might die completely.
Yeah, it's a shame because Fizzy, I know, like he puts a lot of time into his videos.
Yeah, they are brilliant.
I think people do still appreciate it, but again, I think it's more for sort of the hardcore community, that sort of thing. I think Fizzy would be the first to admit that, and like he's probably like one of the most appreciated people. I think, especially among like us YouTubers, and like he gave me opportunity to commentate on AOR, which was really, really enjoyed doing that. And he's decided to go down the iRacing path, and like people still really enjoy watching his content, which is really good. But I think if the league racing had have taken off like that sort of time, like July, that was July 2015, so that was literally just before F1 2015 came out, and that's when it all went downhill. I feel if it had gone the other way, Fizzy would have been like right up there. So that's a shame in that sense. But again, like he's still creating some absolute quality content. Then you've got Alex Gillen, and that's the sort of time where he stopped uploading.
He's gone,
then you've got Matty, who in 7th, who was absolutely shot up as a result of. I'd say that was.
Now he's gone as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's already 2 on that list that have gone.
Then underneath him, you've got Yorkie, who I believe used to do Project Cars.
No offence, but
Yorkie, I believe because I went to Eurogamer last year or the year before, and I believe, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I'm sure people will, but I'm pretty sure that he works for Project Cars or works on Project Cars, and he, like, before Project Cars came out, he was like the one person who uploaded all the beta stuff, that sort of thing. So like, it says F1 YouTubers, loose term, you know, it's sort of like racing channels, I guess. So he was on 8,900 back then. Again, he's on 16,000, mainly probably because of the Project Cars thing, but then obviously that sort of died out. Then you've got Ryan L83, who was obviously like absolutely smashing out the career mode, but he sort of took a different approach in the sense that he went for the live streams, which I think was something which people hadn't exploited.
Personally, like, no offense to Ryan, I know he's a nice lad and all that, but for me, live streaming isn't particularly appealing.
I think he knows that, though.
You know, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
I've spoke to Ryan because I'm quite close to Ryan because we're meeting for Silverstone and everything. I think he knows that, but I think that's just what he's comfortable with.
Yeah, and I think
he has questioned the views, but I think he deep down knows that live streaming, as much as it's really good, I think it was good 4 years ago when you could get again. It's audience. I think it's when you get your audience involved. I think like the only way you can live stream is when you do open lobbies.
Yeah,
Athlete VG. That's how I joined the F1 community.
Mickey Motions. That's how I did mine. That's how I met.
God. That's
a throwback.
I know it's a throwback and everything, but literally
when they had that war,
the two people that I speak to like weekly today are the two people that I met on that live stream. I think Arav made me laugh because he said that I think I was the first person he like crashed into online. And he felt really bad because I was one of like the regulars or something like that.
But like Ryan, I think like you say, maybe the audience isn't with live streams, but I think he gets, like, whenever I've tuned into one of them, there's a really good community of people there, like you say, and you can meet a lot of people through that, and I think it is quite enjoyable, that sort of sense of community that, you know, you get people turning up all the time, and it's a really good way of interacting with people. So I guess that's how he sort of is at the stage he's at now. Underneath that, Noble2909, again, the whole AOR thing.
Yeah.
Like YouTuber Championship.
Yeah,
he only does YouTuber Championships, put it that way. He's
has that gone now? Now Matty's gone?
That's basically, even though they're still joking about it on Twitter, but it's gone completely.
Then you've got Harrison101, who again took the jump to podcasting. Riot Box, that is a throwback as well.
He's gone. Yeah, what honestly happened to? Because I remember he uploaded like one episode of F1 2015 Career Mode, then he just
and now
vanished.
All his videos have gone.
I think again someone else has just had real life.
Well, the thing is with that Jay, he
was the same age as us as well.
He did like daily videos. He was smashing it out.
He was.
And
he was very good back in the day.
But I think he just literally burned himself out. I think,
which is like you say, that's I guess what the problem is for us now. It's like we sort of exhausted.
We just prolonged the burning out.
Yeah, exactly. It was
but even
we did a marathon. He did a sprint. That's sort.
But just look at that list there. Look at how many YouTubers have gone from that already.
So then you've got Tyrrell Limitless, who is obviously still there. Naren, who is pretty much focused on
how many was he on
now. Who, Naren?
Yeah.
5,000. And obviously
since channel,
like he took the decision to just go for FIFA on that channel, and it's like completely paid off for him, and like he's doing like incredibly well on FIFA now. Then there's me on 4,000. So that was good. Well, at last, I believe like back then it was just before the release of F1 2015. I was like the third fastest growing YouTuber.
Yeah,
F1.
You were blowing up.
I like that.
You popped up on my radar.
Senna career.
Yeah, you popped up on my radar, and I was like, "Who's this?" Like, because obviously I didn't. When you don't know who someone is, you're like, "Hey, he's." Because I know she was a similar amount of subscribers. I was like, "Right, that's someone to try and overtake." And then I realised that your content was amazing. I was like, "Okay, I'll just sit behind him. I'll be fine here."
And then it just turned the other way, didn't it? And I was like, it's going to come eventually. And then all of a sudden you overtook me. I was like, I don't really care because I'm not uploading them much anymore. So, yeah, then is KPTK92.
Kerry,
yeah. I know him. The one who Fizzy used to do his car. I don't know whether he still uploads
I think he still uploads iRacing, same as Fizzy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then you've got B from Chipmunk, now known as Just Chipmunk.
Yeah,
who, again, hasn't uploaded for a long time.
He seemed, Joe, have you, like, I mean, obviously, do you know what's sort of?
I don't.
Have you spoken to him recently?
I have. Or? Like, he just sort of like he uploaded last 4 months ago. He was absolutely smashing the videos.
He would have absolutely smashed 10,000 by the end of the year if he carried on. But again, I saw a few of his tweets. He was going for a bit of a rough patch, so I suppose it's just real life stuff taking over again.
I saw him in the summer, and the last time because obviously like he's originally from Loughborough, and obviously that's where I am now, and I just like randomly saw him around one day. And that was the last time I saw him. That was like back in October, and then I went to Donington with him. I met him there in the summer, and like he was like back then he was really talking about like where he wanted to take his channel, and was like really, because obviously like he really hits on the R Factor videos, and he was really sort of excited about the way that he could take that, and that was just like sort of before it really took off, I guess. And like he really smashed it. So yeah, it was a shame to sort of like see him stop uploading, but I guess like you say, he was going through a bit of a hard time, and what can you do? It's just one of those things, isn't it? And then beneath him you've got Ownage, who used to do videos with Alex Gillen. I don't know
how many number. What number are we at now?
We are at 18.
18th, right?
So at this point we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Basically, nearly half don't upload anymore.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's insane that we've now brought that up.
So you got Ownage, then Mickey Motions again doesn't
basically
tend to upload
just
that
uploading
much.
Like live streams of
it's
basically being that illegal.
Basically, whenever there's some game news or like a screenshot that comes out, he just uploads that, just a video of like an F1 2017 screenshot.
Yeah,
just, like,
I haven't
video,
like seen him on Twitter in a while, so I didn't really keep.
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, he's blocked me. I can't see what he posts anymore.
Oh dear.
No, he tweets me occasionally, but I think
same with me.
I think he's just busy with life. I think.
Which is again like it's the sort of thing that just happens at this sort of stage. Then I Am the Stig, who I seem to remember used to upload on like F1 2011.
I do vaguely remember.
Yeah,
him.
the Crash compilations.
Yeah.
The Crash
and he did those really weird voices in his videos, didn't he?
Yeah, like that.
It's like the same person.
Yeah.
That's him.
So then it's him. Then it's
Cal.
Then it's Cal.
Oh, it is Cal. Yep. There we go.
Alex Stop, who used to upload F1 Challenge, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Again has gone.
Real life.
I believe he went to uni and then just sort of stopped. Box Gaming. Justin does.
He's still going.
But he just really does commentary now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's sort of
just the Justin side of things. He's still carrying it on.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
he's smashing it with
commentary. Yeah, he's doing really well with commentary.
If he doesn't make it in commentary, I don't fucking know.
No, I know. He's like, because I've commentated like when I did AOR commentary. I can't think what season it was. F1 2014, I believe I did that, and then I did some iRacing as well with Justin, and he's just such a good commentator. Like I felt so second rate when I was doing it with him, but no, he's obviously, like I say, switched his attention. Then it's Velociter or Mac, who is still uploading. And NF Gaming, who I'm not sure whether does he still upload?
Sam's basically stopped. Yeah.
So Tom and you, Matt, you weren't even in that bracket.
Wait, what date was that again?
This was 1st of July 2015. This was just before F1 2015 came out, which is probably why you're not there.
I think at that point I was on about 700 subs.
Yeah,
so.
And it ends at 1,200. And I think that was just after Tom, not long after Tom had started his channel again.
I think me and Tom had done our first co-op series.
Co-op, yeah, it was just after you finished.
We were around there, and we were slowly kind of budging it along a little bit. But even then, that's a good example of just series that are burned out. We did it on 2014, was a pretty good success. We did it on 2015, it was probably one of the best series I've ever done. Because the thing is, with most other co-ops, I think it's a little bit like comedic, and you're like, it's quite funny and everything. Me and Tom are the most competitive people. We've been league racing from F1 2012, and we fucking hate it when each of us beat each other. And people knew it because
in the
you could hear it. You could hear it in our voices. You could hear the sweat. Like I think I remember editing Mexico, and I cut out about. I think it was about 10 minutes long because we were sweating our tits off that much to try and beat each other. It was absolutely amazing.
I can't remember which whether it was 2016 or 2015 where Tom just got really mad at you about something.
Oh, he's got mad at me a lot of things.
I don't know.
But I probably
don't know.
got mad at him quite a lot as well.
But yeah, like you say, like co-op.
It's hilarious.
You had there's so many people off that list who sort of, I guess, are there as a result of doing co-ops or had done co-ops at some point. So obviously Ben, Arav done a co-op, but I guess that sort of like propelled Arav initially. That whole, they were sort of feeding off each other at that point. In 2013. And obviously Alex Gillen did one, Ryan did one, Fizzy, Kerry, Onage, you, Tom. You know, there's so many people who did them, and now it's sort of, again, another thing which is...
Well, me and Tom thought we had this little break in the market where no one... Because Arav and Ben wasn't doing it, so we were like the biggest people that were doing it, I think, at that time. And people were enjoying it, but with collaborations, me and Tom were basically feeding off each other because we were so close on subscribers. But then it also just gets to the point where you can only get so many views in a collaboration. Because there's always some people who are just like, I don't like him, click off.
Yeah. I guess that... I've just had a look and we're coming up to the hour mark now, which is incredible.
I've just made a bit of a ranking now of what I think that list is like now with the top F1 YouTubers.
Okay.
And I think obviously I haven't actually double checked these, but what I think now is obviously we've got Tim McMurdoch at the top, nearly on 200,000, then we've got Arav with about 120k, then Into the Barrier in third, although he doesn't upload that much, but I'll still include him on the list anyway. Then Alex Afro fourth. Then I think after that is Fizzy.
Yeah, so
on
he's
20,000.
still in
Yeah.
And then I think it's you, Cal, actually,
Ryan.
after that.
That's,
oh, it's Ryan.
We've got Limitless, Ryan.
Limitless.
Yeah.
Me, I think. I feel bad if I forget someone, but there's literally no one in this community anymore.
Yeah.
As sad as it sounds.
It is, like if you now had a list of 25 people, you'd be down well below 1,000.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think. Like, back then it was 1,200, and 2 years on it's actually got smaller.
And then, obviously, you two fit in with me and Tom kind of in that middle, but I wouldn't have thought I'd been... What, am I in the top 10 now?
Yeah, I believe
yes,
so.
You are 8th. Hang on, I'll go through it again. Ben, Arav, Into the Barrier, Alex, Zafro, Fizzy, Limitless, Ryan, then you, Cal, in 8th. Then I believe it goes straight to you, Joe, after that, in 9th.
I think so.
And then it's Tom, and I think it's me.
Yeah. Wow.
No, I don't know what
There's no one left in the community, honestly.
And then
you know what it is?
You've got Hayden, Gullis Game.
Oh, yeah, Hayden.
He's about to overtake me. He's 12th, I think.
What's he on? He's 3,400 and like... But
I honestly think he could... I don't know, it depends. Do you reckon he could be up there?
Right, I think
like in the top 5?
I think he will be. When F1 2017 comes out, I believe he will be.
The thing is with Hayden is... Because ironically, because he does give quite a lot of props to me because of this, because he randomly emailed me one day and was just like, this could be a funny story. He just emailed me one day, and do you know them ones where it's like, oh, can you check out my channel? I was just like, I'm just going to delete it. God. And I didn't delete it. I was just like, because it's my business email, I thought, no one businessy emails me, so I thought, so no, I'll check it out. And I looked at it, I was like, fuck my life, this is amazing. Like, his commentary and everything was so good, and I just randomly tweeted it out. And I think, and then Arav tweeted him out as well. So I got Tom and Arav. I was like, guys, look at Hayden's channel, and we all tweeted him out. And then obviously we gave him this massive boost, and the views he's pulling now is absolutely incredible. But he is a perfect example of what happens when you start late, and obviously it's a perfect example of how much collaborations mean so much. But it's also just a perfect example that if you start late and make it, you're set, because Hayden can keep going for 2 more years. He's at bloody season 5.
It's ridiculous.
That's incredible.
Like
part 84.
I've never made it past season 2.
Also, I had a look through some of his older videos, like maybe a month or so ago, and I saw that like this was before he got any sort of like big views. This was before F1 2016. He did basically something equivalent to the Ultimate Career. He did that whole thing in about 3 months. 3 years later, I'm still going, and I haven't even got near to finishing. So yeah, like he's just an absolute machine, and like I'd be genuinely happy to see him like go, and like I'd happily see him overtake me, because like he's just so consistent, and like he's a sort of person, I guess, that deserves to have that number of subscribers and like go out.
I think he's one of a kind, really.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone repeating that. I think he's just a freak example in that sense. That with F1 2017 coming out, I expect him to be exactly the same with the amount of uploads.
So do I.
seeing as well, if he doesn't have any more commitments, I can totally see him getting to 10,000, maybe even 20,000.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to see where the audience sort of goes with F1 game content, whether they still find it interesting with career mode or not. Again, that's another talking point. I mean, that's why we want you guys to comment, because we really have no idea. I can't come to a conclusive answer, because it really is a matter of opinion, really.
As in terms of YouTubers, we've come into the community, we've done our little hobby, we've made a few friends, and we've shot right off. That's basically what it is. Because the biggest thing that honestly I can take away from this community is the experience. Because with YouTube, the confidence in my speech,
100%,
commentary is 100% improved, and friends. Honestly, well, July's coming up, Silverstone Grand Prix.
Yeah,
I'm meeting up with just friends that I met on the internet, and now they're like, I can class them as proper best friends. And you take what it's the same with everything in life. You you go over to it, you take what you like out of it, you get your advantages, and then you shoot off to whatever you want to next.
Yeah.
This is really deep.
Very deep ending, but very true. I think.
One other question which I did want to ask. I didn't want to make this too much longer.
This has been really interesting. I'm going to actually watch this back. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. But like one thing I did want to ask is about maybe collaborations, because you sort of started saying about it, Cal, about Hayden had obviously done a few. Because like you don't tend to see that many collaborations in a sense. Obviously, like you've got, I don't know. There are a few collaborations, but not necessarily like the one-off sort of things. Like most of them are sort of like a series, like obviously your podcast, and then obviously like me and Matt tend to do these podcasts now, and then you've got like the co-op careers. Do you see maybe a few more? Do you think it would be beneficial for people maybe like us to do those sort of one-off collaborations?
Honestly, there's too much of like a. I think the console problem has always been a thing. Because how we've literally just spoke how sparse YouTubers are now.
Yeah.
There's a console problem.
And they're all distributed over different consoles.
Like Hayden, Ben, obviously, most people like are either Xbox. I don't think there's any YouTubers on PS4 anymore.
No.
Which is probably why the PS4 community seems to have died off a little bit in that sense. It's a quiet kind of community.
Yeah.
And literally, like the only reason I collaborate with Tom and Arav is because they're just on the PC. In the end of it, obviously there's other reasons as well, but that's one of the main reasons. And I'd like to think I'm one of the perfect examples, because look what Arav did to my channel.
Yeah.
In a sense, people might think I wasted that opportunity, but collaborations are huge on YouTube. I don't care what anyone says.
100%.
And I hate the stigma around people helping other people.
Yeah, because that's what the whole platform is for.
Because everyone else think, oh yeah, but he did it properly. It's like in the music industry, how does an artist get big? He does
exactly.
He does this like the pre-show. I can't remember what it is. I know that I literally said it earlier. I literally said it today. The pre-show support artists, support acts. They get big through that.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny, but it's literally the same with everything in life.
Yeah.
People help people a lot.
Like it's who you know, not what you know.
It's who you know and what you know. Yeah, it's not nothing to do with what you know. It's nothing to. In some cases, it's what you know, but most of the time, it's who you know and what you can do with that to gain your own benefit.
Make yourself better. Yeah. Matt, would you say the same?
Absolutely. I mean, I think a conclusion we can come to now is that, unfortunately, as sad as it is, a lot of us won't be here in a couple of years' time. We'll all be going off on our new ventures and everything like that, but
just gotta enjoy it while it lasts.
It's depressing. It's a depressing way to end, but I honestly think this has been an amazing podcast. It started off a bit rambly, but actually a really interesting discussion going on, so I think it's just about time we end it now before we go too deep.
Yeah. Cal, have you got any final things that you wanted to add at all?
No, it's just we don't want to get anyone down. If anyone feels really depressed at the end of this podcast,
we're still here for the meantime.
We're still here for now. We're all kind of hanging on by a thread. We'd like to try and have some sort of break. We'd like to try and get back there, but we're all. I think we're all from a very. I think definitely us three are coming from a realistic standpoint in terms of
definitely.
We'd like to get to 100,000 subscribers. We'd like to make it our job, but would we like to make it our job? Realistically, would we ever get it to make it our job? It's very doubtful. Put it that way.
So
I think F1 2017 is officially make or break.
Every year is make or break, but this is definitely make or break.
Yeah,
this is 100%. Maybe even before. I mean, Cal, I know you said even before that you might not even be uploading F1 2017, but
I see where I am when it comes to it.
Have to see. Have to see.
Yeah, I think it's like a new F1 game. Like we've said a lot of times. It's just sort of an opportunity really to enjoy like making new content. So I guess same with me. Like I've never been a big one on like uploading 14 consecutive days mainly because I've never had the internet to do so, but also like I've never really had the time at that sort of time of year. But we'll see how it goes this year, and just enjoy it while it's still around. I don't know about you guys, I'm really enjoying doing this sort of podcasting thing.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes so much less time. Like for example, I mean, I said it before we came on air, but career mode for me just takes so long to record, so long to edit, and I'm having to force myself at the moment. I really am. Even with the Freddie Gray series and like the whole story I've sort of made behind it, even that's not enough to keep me going. And it's becoming a real chore, especially as I only have 3 days off, and I'm spending the majority of those 3 days doing that. And it's not. It's becoming a chore. Put it that way.
You don't want it to be a chore at all.
No, that's the thing.
But yeah,
it's tough.
Right. I think we should probably end it there. It's been a very, very good discussion. I've really enjoyed having you guys on. So
thanks very much.
Thanks, Cal, for coming on.
No worries.
Been good.
Thank you.
And as always, thanks to Matt as well.
Yeah, no problem.
So
the best discussion I've had in ages.
Yeah,
most
very
productive.
very good. And if anybody is still watching at this point, I know some people do watch to the end of these podcasts, but if you are, then make sure to leave a like. Quite how you've got through this long, I do not know. Leave a comment down below as well, but I'll leave the links to Matt and Cal down in the description as well. I think we've discussed it enough about their channels. I don't think I really need to give that much of an overview. I think you know what they're all about, but I'll leave their links down in the description. Yeah, exactly. But I'll catch you guys in the next podcast, which should be maybe before the first race of the season, maybe just after. We'll see how it goes. But until then, guys, take care. Bye bye.